What up, y'all? How we doing? It's Friday, Friday. I think at the end of the day, I think we just call it Friday, though. But how's everybody doing today? What up, Jake? J-Mo, how you living? On my way to my son's first high school football game. Hoping it goes well. Got a long stretch of road before I get there, about 20 minutes. What up, bruh? Where you watching the fight at tomorrow? I just figured I'd, come on live. There was a question that, are you off work? Shoot, man, I got off work. I've been hella sleeping all day. I needed that shit. See, I didn't know if y'all was throwing like a fight party or something. Nobody want to pay for the fight. But topic that came across my mind. We're living in this world of like, it was actually, it came to my mind. A friend of mine, she had sent me, or she didn't send me, but she had posted this message about this guy that, I guess, I don't know if they used to talk. Oh man, y'all got the fight for free? Yeah, but isn't that shit like hella grainy? Like it looked like somebody recorded on their cell phone or something. But if it's free, shoot, I may slide up there if y'all gonna be watching it at the house. Shoot, I'll bring a bottle or 30 pack or something. Shit. Let me know. But like, alright, yeah, let me know, man. I'll probably be ready for the day like at around noon. But we live in like in 2017, which is already like half over. So when you think about it, we're about to be, we got to get into that 2018 mind state already. And you got a lot of people that are out there that are, doing like their own thing. There's a lot of people out there that are like single, maybe single parents. I'm a single parent myself, or people that are, just young or younger, and maybe childless, but, they're single and they, trying to get their life together with their career or, just a good long-standing job that they've had and trying to get on the path to, setting up, their, financial security as much as possible, like, for, the rest of their lives, really. And, part of that is like, home ownership. I'm on that path, like myself, like really, trying to, stabilize my home base. Home ownership is probably, the biggest, stamp you can put on yourself, or for yourself, like in this country. Like, boom, you own a home, like, good, you're solid. Make your mortgage payments. Can't nobody take that from you. And, it just establishes yourself as like a solid individual. Like, this is somebody, man or woman, take care of themselves, take care of their business. And then, but we got single people that are doing that. They go to their job. They want to go home afterwards. They don't always like want to go to an apartment afterward. They want to go to their home. They want to, chill in their living room. They want to, sit outside in their yard at nighttime or, have their own yard to, cut the grass or their own garage, that type of stuff, an attic or a basement, what have you. Then you got, like I said, there's young single people that are, out there doing that for themselves these days, and that's dope. Like, that's what's up. single, married, it doesn't matter. If that's what you're trying to do with your life, then, more power to you. But the question that comes to my mind is, when you're single and you're doing that, okay, and that's fine, and then you get into the realm of, okay, maybe you're looking like you don't want to spend the rest of your life as a single person. So maybe somebody catches your eye, somebody tickles your fancy or something, and you get like into the dating game. You find yourself like liking somebody that is equally as driven as you are as a person. They have their own job, and they're doing well for themselves. They could be a single parent. If you're one too, then you guys have that in common. Or it could be a young, single, childless, professional type of person, and you are too, or maybe you have children and they don't, or vice versa. And so what got me to thinking is, okay, you come across somebody, like I said, that's equally as driven as you. You've been driven to the point of, working to maintain your financial stability and security, to, home ownership and whatnot. And when it comes down to it, you want to meet somebody who's like-minded. And I'm just going to be flat out honest. If you're, a hardworking person and you're working towards, owning your own house and everything, you don't want to date somebody that, whenever you do want to date somebody, like if you're single, you don't want to date somebody that, isn't meeting that same criteria for yourself. Oh, what up, J to the A? So the question, though, and I know I'm dancing around the topic, the question is, what happens when two single people that are young or younger, or they don't have to be young, but they're driven, they work hard, they earn everything that they have, and they're setting themselves up for financial stability, but they both own their own house, right? They both own it. Let's just say it's a guy and a girl, they dating, and it comes to the point where, they've been dating for quite a while. They could be dating for like 6 months, but old boy lives at his house and old girl lives at her house. At the end of the day, maybe sometimes, one of them will stay the night at the other one's house, like on a weekend or, something. No big deal. That's fine. Stay at somebody's house. Well, why not? Nothing against the law about that. But now here's the question. Let's just say those two folks, start getting serious. What up, Jermaine? And, they're getting serious, but they both own their houses. I mean, they just started to own their house. They just, had moved in not that long ago. And all of a sudden, you're getting serious with somebody, and at some point, maybe you're thinking about, okay, marriage could possibly be the next step. Because why not? Marriage is it's a really great cornerstone of life. Okay. Yeah, what up, Jermaine? All right, Jay, you say rent one out. That's a good point. Okay. It's actually a really good point, because you can maintain some income and you don't have to sell out the house. But here's where the conundrum comes in. Who moves? You got two people who just moved into, let's say they moved in at the exact same time in two different houses on the exact same day or whatever, right? They're both equally nice houses. They could both be like, in similar type of neighborhoods or whatever. One house works for one person, one house works for the other person. So who moves? And see, that's the thing. Now, the reason why I ask that is because you may have a younger couple where, maybe one person like lives in an apartment, or they both, live in apartments or something. And it's a little bit easier decision to, go into a household from that step, because when you're in an apartment, you don't own the apartment, you're renting it. So if you're going into a home, a house, or a house you're going to make a home, that's a step upward. But if you got two people who individually own their own house, and then they decide to get married, well, you're not going to get married and live in two separate houses. So you're going to cohabitate. But you got two houses, one of them has to go. Who moves? The guy or the girl? I'm not putting this as a battle of the sexes kind of thing, but the idea is that, you know, a choice has to be made. Also, with that being said, with the choice having to be made, should that be a deciding factor? Should they decide that before they get married? Or should they just say, you know, we're going to keep, you know, both houses because they were individually able to afford both houses to begin with? But at the same time, what forces a decision to be made as far as, you know, who's going to be moving? Like I said, each house, the house that the guy lives in works for the guy. The house that the girl lives in works for the girl. If she was to move into his house, it may not work for her. If he was to move into her house, it may not work for him. So I think the one that generates the most income, maybe, you're right. Being that majority of the time man gets put out, we need the backup plan. Yeah, rent one out. Okay, so I'm getting a lot of, you know, a lot by, you know, who's reading. Is rent one out. That's a good idea. Okay, because you can keep income coming into the house. You still own the houses, and, you know, comes to a good point that James makes is, hey, sometimes, you know, if and when things go sour, it's the man that's got to go. I don't want to say it's got to go, but usually he's one that ends up going. And, you know, I ain't trying to get in trouble with the ladies, but, you know, that's just how it is. You know, I mean, think about it. But, you know, at the same time, like I said, if the one house like that the guy lives in does not work for the girl, but he was just, okay, now I'm going to trick you up, Jermaine. Both houses cost the same. So it's not about, like, I'm going to try and make it to where everything gets evened out, and eventually a super tough decision has to be made. He lives in a $250,000 house. She lives in a $250,000 house. Whoever, you know, moves out, they're going to have to charge the same amount of rent that, like, they're paying, because, you know, you charge anything less, you're going to be losing income at that point. And that's obviously not the name of the game here. We're talking about, like, financial stability and security. So you want to at least maintain your lifestyle, you know, or at least, or maybe increase it. Now you're right. If whichever one can generate the most income, if you can say, well, maybe I can get this house to go for, like, you know, $1,500 a month on rent, but this one only goes for like $1,200, you know, kind of thing. So that works. You know, obviously that would make it that much better of a decision. But sometimes you got some, you know, hard-headed people that'll say, I don't care if it costs less. This is my house that I worked my butt off to get into. And all of a sudden, I'm going to be the one, and it could be the guy or the girl saying this. All of a sudden, I got to be the one that has to move because, you know, we're going to cohabitate now. You know, you got some people that, you know, I don't want to say it's like a possession or a material thing, but, I mean, owning a house is damn difficult. So, you know, move your bad bitch. Jason never lies, man. I'll tell you that much. But no, and that's the thing, you know, because, you know, as a guy is going to have the, I know for a fact, I'm saying this as a guy, the guy's going to have the mentality, look, I worked my butt off for God knows how long to be able to move into this house and, you know, yada yada, all this stuff. You know, why I gotta move? You know, just because this house that you move or that you live in, that she lives in, is going to generate more income if we rent it out. But on the other hand, maybe it doesn't work for him. Maybe the neighborhood she lives in is like further away from his job, makes his commute longer. that kind of thing. Or vice versa, if she was to move in with him to his house that he owned or that he bought, with his hard-earned efforts, then she's going to say the same thing. Like, shit, I worked my butt off. I had to go to school, all this other stuff. Now I own my own house. There's nothing stronger than independent women. Damn it, we all know this. Okay, there's nobody that has a, stronger mind state than a woman who got they own. Okay, legit got they own. I mean, that's probably a broad term. When I say got they own, I'm being to the T, got their own. Okay, so by that, nobody's gonna convince a woman. Like I said, I ain't trying to get in trouble with ladies, but nobody's gonna convince an independent woman that she's gonna have to move out of her own house that she worked her butt off to get. Whether he's gonna generate, or whether she could generate more income renting her house out and move into the gentleman's house, but it could make her commute harder. Okay, maybe it's not a neighborhood that she wanted to move in, because if she did, she might have tried to move in there in the first place. But I don't know. Like I said, it just came to my mind, like, when two people that are single and they generate what they can to, get into their own house, individually, and then, later down the road, they link up with somebody, and all of a sudden, who has the same things going for themselves, and the cohabitation starts, who moves? And it can become a deciding factor in maybe if that relationship even stays as it is, like if that relationship will cease to exist or not, because you don't want to have to be put in that situation where, that kind of thing will decide whether, if you truly love somebody, if it's going to work out, because, hey, we're breaking. If you love somebody, a decision like that shouldn't decide whether the relationship's going to work out. That's just my opinion. I always say, like, love should beat out everything. But, nobody wants to give up a house that they had to work their butts off to, get. Sell both, buy a bigger one together. That's a dang good point, Jermaine. And I'm gonna be honest, I didn't even think about that. That never crossed my mind. It just didn't. It just, you say, like, well, maybe one has to give up, one of the other ones. But it never came to my mind to say, like, well, why wouldn't they just, sell them? But see, here's the only, curveball to that, is that it kind of, the same rule kind of applies as far as the mentality of, I worked my butt off for years. No, I mean, nobody gets a house when they're 22, unless your parents were, like, millionaires or something. Now, you got to put in some serious hard time, and effort to get into a house. So, yeah, okay, and who doesn't want to upgrade? Like you said, sell it, get a bigger one. Let me upgrade you. Upgrade each other. Ain't nothing wrong with that. However, it kind of, like I said, it kind of goes back to the same thing. Maybe one person doesn't want to move. Now, I think as a couple that, mutually love each other, they should find a solution, a compromise. So I think compromise is, one of the top 5 words in any successful relationship. But, man, no, that's a great suggestion, Jermaine. Sell both houses, get a big one. Or, sell both houses, take out the equal chunk of profit, and, mutually decide on, which, house they could possibly go in on together. And leave out the whole, renting out of one house or whatever. You don't want to have that second house, hanging over your head for one reason or another. It could become an albatross. It could become, the market tanks or whatever, and then you end up taking a loss on the house. And nobody wants to think of it that way. But, now, Now here's another curveball. Say they sell both houses and then combine back to one, right? And you don't want to think of this situation. What if they don't work out and they're cohabitating? And all of a sudden, each person had one house, each that, she might have been renting out hers if she moved in with him or vice versa, but they don't work out. So the one person whose house that they were renting out has that option of going back to the house. They can kick out their tenant and say, hey, look, I need the house back. I'll give you a such and such notice, this and that or whatever, depending on what kind of lease agreement they had. And then, you can say, you can take back your own house for the most part. However, and like I said, nobody wants to think about that. If you go in together on the same house and then, split up, then what do you get? Somebody's going to have to make a decision. Now, I'll be honest, for me, in that same situation, I ain't going nowhere. If I went in 50% on that house, I'm going to stay in 50% of that house every single day. Or if I get out, I'm taking 50% of the house with me, either physically or monetarily. I'm going to take 50% because I went in with 50% of my dang money. I'm going to take 50% of my money back out. I don't care what anybody thinks. I don't care if this is the state of California and screw the guy. I'm taking 50%, off top. I don't need a dime more, but I ain't taking a dime less. Pure and simple. But, and obviously it's not always the perfect situation. Things don't always work out the way, they want them to. But it was just a topic that's on my mind. I don't want nobody to, think of the worst or anything like that. It's just, things happen. Those are like life-changing decisions a lot of times. And, you just don't want to be put like in a negative, anything. Negative situation, negative bank account, nothing negative in this world. That's not what, living's all about. So, just something on my mind that I wanted to, throw out there for y'all. Good feedback, by the way. I like the feedback that y'all were giving. So, about to pull up to my son's game right now. Hope they win, y'all. Go Panthers. And then what's going to happen is, I can just pull up here. I ain't got to pay for parking. Because you know me, I don't pay for nothing. So, what I would like is, can I park over here? Okay. And then, good feedback. I'm going to leave a post up. I'm actually going to post this on my YouTube page. So look for that one. All y'all feedback. It won't show up on the page, but I like that. I like the good engagement that all you folks are giving, and y'all have a bomb ass Friday, but either way, it's still a Friday. And then I'm gonna catch y'all later. All right, Jermaine, thanks a lot, man. I appreciate it. J-Mo, holla back at me later tonight. I'll be out on the road. J to the A, holla at me. I'll get at y'all later, man. Later.